Welcome back to Magic Tarot Cards with Jasmine. This is going to be a quick world prediction. I only have one card here because we're going to discuss the end of a cycle, the end of a, just the end, okay? A lot of people have been asking me about this, and there's so much to tell about the end coming, the tribulation, and stuff like that. So, and a lot of people are fearful too because they know something's coming, and then I'll get text messages or people calling me like, okay, so what do you see? What should we do? You know, is there some place to hide? You know, just many questions. So, I'm going to talk about the end of an era. So we're already there. We're already at the end of an era. First, I'd like to say, y'all, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Come in for personal reading if you want one. I'm still doing the $10 special. All you have to do is text that number down below, and I will get back at you. Watch all the videos and the shorts. All your love readings are in the shorts, so go there and watch those. And yeah, okay, so we already are in the beginning of the Great Tribulation, okay? So that's why things have changed so drastically, especially since Trump came back. I did predict Trump winning more than 4 years ago. I predicted he would win the first time, and then I predicted he would win the second time. I've also predicted his demise, which is going to happen soon. I've predicted... just go watch all the prediction videos. I have predicted the end of a certain state, California, when the major earthquake hits. The reason we're having one earthquake after the other is because of the beginning of the tribulation. Now, if you go into Matthew 24 in the Bible, it says, clearly it states that there will be famines, which is starvation, people hungry all over the world, and then a lot of earthquakes, and you know, the weather being upset like that. But and then people say, okay, well, that's something that's always happened. Yes, it's always happened. We've always had earthquakes, we've always had tornadoes, we've always had tsunamis, but not to this extent. Okay, and in the scripture, this is what it means. It'll be like one after the other, one after the other. And it says that's when you know that the end is near. Doesn't mean the end is here. It just means the end is near. It's coming. These are all signs that God is letting you know that the end is coming. Okay? So, in Nevada, there was an earthquake that kind of split the San Andreas lines runs from California all the way up through Nevada. So it split that up there on top. Okay? So that's not good. That's not good. All right. So the end of the era is the end of the way we were living. This is the 10 of swords, meaning the end has come. The way of life is no more. The way of life that we've known in the past few years is no more. Especially with Trump doing all these tariffs, a lot of things have changed drastically. You know, I see a lot of businesses closing down because they just can't keep up, because they can't get their products in like they used to. You know, there's a lot of food shortages. Some of their products they can't get in. They're lacking of funds, so they have to downsize. They're downsizing, like restaurants. I see a lot of restaurants closing, and they're downsizing to where they only have... They leave open the ones that make the most money, and then they downsize. So you'll be like, well, whatever happened to that restaurant? It used to be open. It was open last month, and now it's not. And that bank is closing, and this bank is closing. You know, things like that. And I've talked about this before, my other world predictions. And then a lot, again, the price is going up, especially in produce, because it's the migrant workers that usually work in the field. You know, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Without the migrant workers, the crops fail, and the price of produce goes up, and because there's little of it, you know, the farmers lose their crops. They're losing money. They're losing their crops because there's no one to work the fields, you know. So they are much needed here, you know. America's supposed to be a free country. Anyone's supposed to be able to come if you come in properly with papers and all that. I know a lot of people come in illegally and stuff like that. But you got to also think about where they come from, you know, how desperate they must be to be in a place and to have the things that we have, or to live a life the way we live, it's got to be very hard for them to have to cross over here and try to find work and stuff like that, without an education, without money, without knowing what they're getting into. That's got to be a hard thing. I feel like even though Trump wanted to, allegedly, this is all alleged, y'all, to get rid of the migrants, I feel like he should have more compassion and go about it the right way, because he's not going about it the right way. The way he's going about it is horrible. And don't think that he's not building karma. He is, oh my God, I can see what happens to him. He's going to suffer tremendously for the things that he's doing. He is going to suffer tremendously. You can't just be on this earth and just do whatever you want to, because it doesn't work that way. There is karma, and I don't care what anybody else thinks or says. You have to pay that back. You have to pay that back, and he's going to pay tremendously with his life, allegedly. Okay, I hate that we have to say that on YouTube, but anyway, this is your psychic talk, because a lot of people have here lately say, okay, so explain the Great Tribulation, explain what's happening, why is this happening, what should we do, should I be praying? Yes, you should be praying. Yes, you should be praying. If you haven't got right with God yet, then you need to while you're alive, because it's too late once you've crossed over. It's not going to happen for you once you cross over. It's going to be your last, your last chance is now. All right. God is a very forgiving man, or should I say being. In the Bible it states that he will forgive any sin if you're sincere. If you come to him with a sincere heart and want to change your life, yes, he will forgive you. The only thing he doesn't forgive is blasphemy, and that's when you speak against him. There's no forgiveness for that. But, if you've wronged somebody, or if you've stolen something, or, I even believe if you murdered somebody and you're truly sorry in your heart, he will forgive you. And then, of course, you got to never do it again while you're here on earth. But I do believe that he's a very forgiving being, because he's the one that put us here. All right? So, Spirit, I was talking with Spirit today, because they came into my house in a big, big way. And I wish I had filmed what came into my house today so you could see how Spirit came in. But between now and the next year or two, there's going to be a light in the sky. This is the main reason I made this video. There's going to be a light in the sky that they're going to be watching, okay? And they think it's a comet, but it's not a comet, okay? They're going to be unidentified objects again. And these things are not human, okay? They're not human like we are. They're, I guess you could possibly say, aliens, allegedly. And they don't come in peace, okay? They're not coming in peace. They've been observing us and the way we do things for a very long time. And that's how they learn how to attack and what our weaknesses are, what our strengths are, because they've been observing for a very long time how we do things. But they're going to hover, and they're just going to be up there, and they're just going to hover, because they're going to wait for us to react first. Are we going to shoot at them? Are we going to become violent? Are we going to just sit back and watch? They're going to watch us, but the light's going to come. There's going to be a light that's going to be spotted, and it's going to come closer and closer and closer until they finally arrive. And then they're just going to hover. Okay. It sounds scary. It is scary. I don't ever want to encounter one of them things. I already encounter a lot of things because I see many spirits all the time. But I don't ever want to encounter an alien. I think that would be most terrifying. So they're going to wait to see how we react. And then if we become hostile, they'll become hostile. But if we don't become hostile, then they're just going to linger there. They're going to watch and observe and watch and observe. And then they're going to steal resources like food. Not so much food. They don't eat like we eat, but they do require certain types of, I don't know how to explain this to y'all, so y'all can know what an alien eats. They need certain type of minerals to survive, and their planet has been depleted. The proper word is depleted from this stuff. So that's why they come in a lot secretly, because they steal stuff from the planet Earth. They also go to other planets as well, not just ours. You know, our space is vast and it's never ending. If you go into space, it never ends. It just continues. It goes on and on and on and on. So there's other galaxies out there. There's other planets out there. We're not the only ones. We're not alone up here in this big old vast dark area. You know, if a lot of people think, well, it's just our planet and human and that's it. No. Space goes on forever and ever and ever. It doesn't end. It just keeps going and going and going. So there's other stuff out there. Now, some of them are very, very intelligent, you know, because you see how they move. They can move their ships in any direction. You know, our planes just go forward. They don't go backwards or sideways, or I'm sure we can go into a spin, you know, fly around, but they don't move. We don't move like they do. But this is just a short prediction. Just a talk, a short prediction. I've been out all day since last night. We went out last night. Today, I've had a lot going on in my life. I switched jobs. I got offered a brand new position. I'm no longer at the hospital. Thank God. I hated that job. I mean, it was a good job and I made great money, but I just didn't like the place. I didn't like the facility. The facility had old equipment. So I got offered a new position. It's still medical, but it's not like direct patient care where I'm just taking care of people. You know, I have many years of experience in the medical field, and I hold 4 licenses. Okay, so I got offered a new position that's much more higher paid than what I was already making. I was already making great money. So I've been busy doing that. I already started that job, been busy with that. And then, of course, I do my dance group. We're getting ready to do more shows. It's been exhausting, actually, these last few weeks. That's why I haven't done a live, because I've been extremely busy. And then, of course, I have home life I got to take care of, and then deal with my friends and family. And then we got a parade coming up. We're going to be marching in the parade, and we're getting our new costumes ready. So it's just a lot. So that's what I've been doing. I will come live probably in a day or two and try to get back on track with that. But other than that, you know, I hope everyone out there is doing well. The holidays are coming, which is a good thing. So we'll be decorating for the holidays and stuff here. I've had a lot of people come and go from my house because, you know, we have a lot of props here for the videos and stuff. And I was just upstairs a few minutes ago kind of putting some of the props away, because I've had a lot of people drop the props back off, pick them up, drop them off. So I've been doing that as well. But anyway, this was your short psychic talk about the light in the sky. Get ready for it, because it is coming. Now, I feel like whoever is watching it will start to notice it in October, which is next month. And they might not say nothing, or they might just think it's a comet, and they're going to be like, okay, well, we see a small little spot that's traveling towards the Earth. It could be a comet, and it's coming very slow. You know, and it's going to come at very, very slow speed, because it's coming from far away. I mean, so far away. And then it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, to where then it becomes a huge concern. And you'll hear more talks of it, until then, boom, it hits. So y'all be watching out for that, and you'll see that you heard from me. You heard about it from me first. In your psychic talk and tarot. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go now. I got other things to do. Thanks for watching, y'all. Thank you for being so supportive. Please know that I love all of you. You're always welcome here to my page. Anyone's welcome here to my page. You know, as long as you come in respectfully, you know, follow rules. You're all welcome here. I can answer any question that you may have. I can answer. Now, I don't pull spirits during a live. I used to do that when I first started doing. I was the very first one that did free psychic readings. I've been doing them for 6 years. I used to pull spirits, but other people in the lives were telling me that it was affecting them, so I stopped doing that. Now it's just a private session if you want me to call in a loved one that have passed away, and that does cost money. But I do it privately now. But I do answer your questions in the lives. You know, there's not any question that I can't answer. All right, and yeah, so I'll probably do a live tomorrow. Tonight I can't because I gotta leave the house here in a minute because there's something I gotta go do. I was gonna do one today, but I've been out all day. I've been busy. I've been out all day, but I probably most likely will do one tomorrow. All right, so other than that, I hope y'all are well. Thank you for all the wonderful tips, donations, all the response that I have gotten, all the love that I've gotten. Thank you. I appreciate it more than you know. All right. Thanks for watching. This is Jasmine from Magic Tarot Card, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.